Hey everybody, this is Maddie with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're doing well. We have a few articles to run through today. Our favorite, John McAfee, is in the news, jokingly, of course, is how I'm saying that. You have Ripple, which is basically setting up to defend itself against categorization as a security, and they're taking appropriate measures to make sure that they're in a good position to defend themselves. We'll get to that in a moment. OKex is releasing a new portfolio product or a financial product that's going to help you leverage a position of diversity when investing in the cryptocurrency market. But first, we're beginning with this article by Licia on altcoinbuzz.io. A book ICO, Publica will make that happen. So have you ever wanted to write a novel but were afraid to be turned down by a fussy publisher? Or maybe you are tired of paying extra money to Amazon for selling you the piece you love? Well, Publica, an upstart blockchain publisher, is about to revolutionize the whole concept of publishing and book distribution. And tomorrow it will launch an ICO, which will allow Matthew Kepnes, aka Nomadic Matt, to pre-sell his travel guide, Backpacker's Guide to Europe, on an Ethereum-based platform. And the countdown has started. So this is a pretty interesting idea, and this author here, Matthew Kepnes, is not exactly the first one in the spot. So you have Suki Yutla, author of Escape the Cubicle, Quit the Day Job You Hate, has already basically come to an understanding of what this is like. And at the 2018 London Book Fair, Yosef Mark, the CEO of Publica, announced that her book officially became the world's first #1 title on the, quote, blockchain bestseller list. So this looks to be a space that's opening up more and more. And there are all kinds of advantages that Licia describes here. We don't necessarily have time to go into all of the technical details of this article, but just to sum it up, I mean, with blockchain publication, traditionally you've had the big publishing houses, that's been your only option. And then more recently, you've had Amazon self-publishing. But even at that, I mean, it sounds like a convenient option, but they take up a lot of the profit. They really do take a lot of the revenue from any publication. So this is good in a couple ways, blockchain publication and what Publica is offering, because it's based on smart contracts, which are more or less autonomous, which is a good thing. You're able to cut out the middleman, and you're able to get more royalties, more revenue into the hands of the author and provide the reader or the consumer of the content with that product ultimately for a cheaper price comparatively, which is a good thing. So it really does cut out the middleman. It makes things like rights management a lot easier, and piracy is something that's taken care of sort of by default with this blockchain kind of technology. So I encourage you guys to take a look at this article in full, read through all the details, and do be sure to leave Licia a comment. But this is a really interesting idea, and we wish Matthew Kepnes, Nomadic Matt, the best of luck with this particular endeavor. You can read more about Publica here. We're going to link to their website. And this article here, Book ICO on Publica, Backpacker's Guide to Europe. So do be sure to check that out for more information. In other news, everybody's favorite crypto personality to hate, John McAfee, is at it again. So in this article by Zach, McAfee is running for president of the United States. It just feels like the 2016 election cycle all over again. This is just mad. So look, apparently this is real at the time of this recording. As far as I could tell, this is a real statement that was made. So John McAfee is saying that he will be running for president of the United States in 2020. And he says this time he won't be stopped because he was previously. So just for a bit of context and to preface everything, McAfee, as Zach says, known for his outlandish and eccentric behavior, is one of the most controversial figures in the whole of cryptocurrency. Some of his predictions include Bitcoin hitting $1 million by 2020 and 15,000 by the end of June 2018, which means it has to double in less than a month. He's often seen as a Marmite figure. Some people love him and some hate him. So a little bit of background on John McAfee. Obviously, he's got his claim to fame in the world of antivirus software and IT. That's where he made, I guess, most of his money. And he did run, in fact, people forget, but he did run for the Libertarian ticket in 2016 in the US, and he was beaten out by Gary Johnson. So what he's saying this time around is that he does plan to run again. He will be seeking the Libertarian nomination, but it doesn't really matter whether or not he secures it, because he says that if he doesn't have success with the Libertarian Party, he's going to go ahead and run as an independent. And look, guys, you may hate McAfee. You may not be a fan of what he says, or he's got he's got a checkered history, that's for sure. I know you guys recommended check out that documentary Gringo. I haven't yet, but I'm going to check that out soon. Guarantee it. So he's not exactly an angel, he's not exactly a saint, but he does embody some of the, I guess, philosophies of classical libertarianism. He's all about anti-government intervention. He's all about self-security. He's all about individual rights and whatnot. So maybe there's a fit there, maybe not. What he is saying, though, is that it's not about winning the election at all. It's more about the act of running and bringing up the issues, bringing up decentralization and talking about cryptocurrency, making that popular. So, guys, I would love to hear your comments on this particular issue. It's probably a controversial one. And again, I mean, he is serious about his claim that he's going to be running, but I don't think he's too serious about the presidency itself. This is more about a marketing campaign, I guess, or an awareness campaign relating to cryptocurrency, because take a look at his tweet here. Don't think that I have a chance of winning. I do not. But what truly changes America is not the president, but the process of creating one. If my following is sufficient, I get to stand on the world's largest stage and talk to everyone as I did last time to tell the truth. And that's what I think is most interesting about this. I don't think anybody is going to, put money down on the fact that McAfee could be president of the U.S. That's not going to happen. And look, they did say the same thing about Trump, but I think McAfee's even more of a long shot. They could dig up his skeletons in the first hour of his candidacy. So he's not going to get there. But however, I kind of agree with him in this sense that the act of running, the act of perhaps being involved in some fiscal or monetary policy debates, just being out there on the campaign stage and being able to broadcast his own message, that could be interesting. And again, he's not going to be president, but that would be potentially a good moment in the world of crypto if he were to take the campaign seriously. And if he's funding himself as an independent, I don't know how expensive that is, but he could control his own message as well. So that's going to be a story to keep on top of. Hard to believe, but that's something we'll alert you to as it develops. And in other news, Ripple arms itself with former SEC chairwoman in preparation for its court case. So article here by Garrett. As Ripple prepares to defend itself from being classified as a security, it adds former Securities and Exchange Commission chairwoman to its defense team. So, like the cases with Ethereum, Ripple has this decision that's coming up, and it's really trying to brace itself and prepare itself accordingly. So in preparation for this impending court case, the company has decided to add former SEC chairwoman Mary Jo White to their defense team. Ripple also added White's enforcement chief Andrew Serezny to its team. So you have a spokesperson for Ripple that recently argued, quote, "We continue to believe XRP should not be classified as a security. We feel confident that the claims regarding XRP are completely unfounded both in law and fact." But then you have this plaintiff, Ryan Coffey, who disagrees with the claim. So he says, defendants have since earned massive profits by quietly selling off XRP to the general public in what is essentially a never-ending initial coin offering. In order to increase demand for XRP and thereby increase the profits it can derive by selling XRP, Ripple Labs has consistently portrayed XRP as a good investment, relayed optimistic price predictions, and conflated Ripple Labs enterprise customers with usage of XRP. So it seems like it is a premeditated move, 100%. But they're taking the fight seriously, and I don't really have much in the way of information about this particular individual's track record or her history. So Miss Mary Jo White, but if she was in fact a former chairwoman of the SEC, that's some good ammunition that they're packing right there. So look, Ripple's definitely in the news lately. It's not, it's not the kind of thing where they're immune to criticism and they're immune to arguments for being a security. I think there are plenty of arguments against that as well. However, the case can be made both ways, and it looks like they're preparing themselves, they're arming themselves for the fight ahead in court. So I think that's a smart move on their part, certainly. You can read about that here in the Recorder. Ripple Labs brings on former top SEC officials to help defend private securities lawsuit. And of course, we've reported on this pretty extensively, but you can brush up on the details here with an article from about a month ago by Garrett. Is Ethereum a security? So we're still waiting on some of these decisions to be made by the SEC, and time will tell. I mean, we'll see what happens. But Seems to be a smart move on the part of Ripple, at least from my perspective. And finally, in the news today, guys, we have news out of OKex, which releases cryptocurrency index fund, with an article here by Chris on altcoinbuzz.io. So OKex releases a cryptocurrency index fund that will allow both retail and corporate investors with around $100 to purchase 6 coins and tokens. So OKex, which is the second largest exchange by volume at the time of this publication, released their version of an ETF, which is an exchange-traded fund called OK0, I think. Yeah, OK0 6ETT. This allows users to purchase 6 coins as of writing. So those are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, EOX, and OKB, using the capitalization-weighted methodology against UDST. This index allows investors to diversify their portfolios, gives them lower fees, and more easily manage their risk. So OK06ETT is not only designed for corporate investors, as the minimum investment is around $100. So that's a very accessible price point. $100 makes it accessible to all kinds of people. The chosen coins for the index can change over time based on the previous 30 days of trading volume. All coins except for OKB, which is the platform's utility token, must be in the top 10. At any point, the investor can trade their ETT for the underlying assets at a small fee, and this allows the index price to remain close to the actual prices of the underlying assets. So this, I think, is going to be a good thing because a lot of people, whether it's crypto or any sort of investment, will always tell you that diversification is key. And although different crypto projects, different coins, tokens tend to move in the same direction, right? If the market is going up, then everything tends to rise with that rising tide. If the market goes down, then everything tends to suffer. Nonetheless, diversification is always important in investments. And you have many other companies that have moved towards this route in order to try and spark new interest, as is pointed out in the article, most notably Coinbase, Circle Invest, and Grayscale. So what do you guys think about this? Would this be a product that you'd be interested in acquiring, this OK06ETT? I think it makes it more accessible to the general public across a broad range of investors. That $100 minimum is nice to see. And the diversification option is a nice one. I'd like to see more indices like this in the crypto space going forward. So this is a good start, and it's going to be interesting to see how it develops, how it grows, and we'll see what kind of coins are either added or subtracted from that particular list. You can read more about that here on OKex support. Introduction to OK06ETT. We're going to link to all of this, of course, in the description. And with that, guys, we're going to round out the newscast. Do be sure you're following Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter, where we alert you to the latest goings on in the world of crypto. Guys, if you like this video, do be sure to leave it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the bell, and that way you're going to be notified to all our new content. We put out new videos every day. So soldiers of the Altcoin Buzz Army, I wish you happy investing. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Take care.